Hi, folks. This is another rendition of, well, it's Three Fingers Deep today, isn't it?
Yes, because Nameless decided he had prior engagements.
He did.
Last minute.
So Calby's going to go through a bit of withdrawal, not being insulted once a week.
Oh no, I'm gonna pick up where.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I told Calvin when we were recording, but he didn't get back to me.
So that's his insult to us.
I know.
So he started it.
He did.
Well, by gov, I will finish it.
It's become a plague, by the way.
What?
The Law and Order. After
that's what you were doing with it.
Yeah, I started it.
He started it, and he does it better than I do, but I don't care. I still do it.
That's
fucking hilarious,
Well,
especially in certain serious situations.
I was
like
beating the shit out of it. I was here, and then my wife was sitting there talking about her day, and I would keep going with doom, and it got to the point where she was getting irritated, and that's the point where I was hoping for. And then the oldest kid comes in and says something about, oh yeah, by the way, I need this, and I started doing the same thing, and then the second one down, the 15-year-old comes in, and before she could open her mouth, she just entered the room, and I went doom doom. So I was irritating the crap out of everybody. And so we started doing it at work where we'll sit there and IM each other and just randomly throw that out there. So yeah, it gets...
Which is spelled D-O-O-N space D-O-O-N. I had to clarify. So just want to let the folks at home know, if you're going to try this at home,
I
do it your own risk.
Yeah, you might get smacked. I don't know. I mean,
that's funny. Well, you know, I suppose, what section of the Maiden show is it today? The final segment?
Should be the third and final installment.
doo-doo.
We left off, I think, in the middle of the Blaze Bailey era.
Yes.
Ah!
I think we were in the middle of the X Factor.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm
Is it really only 3? I guess because it's been drawn out for so many weeks, it kind of feels like it's like section 5.
Yeah.
Or 8.
Let me get to where I was at.
That was not prepped beforehand?
No, because apparently I have a Word doc. It's like 19 pages long.
Just messing with you.
And I thought I had, when I was done, I highlighted it in red so I know I could skip over that. Apparently I didn't do that last time. So, yeah. But I think, yeah, we got, I think we finished the X Factor and that we were going to start on Virtual X, or Virtual 11.
Mm-hmm. And just for the folks at home, Nameless is not here today, but he said it was okay if we continued without him. Because I know that one big thing with the Spotlight shows, especially all of them, but especially the Maiden show, was we wanted everybody here, everybody to participate, but
I don't recall asking for his permission.
It wasn't his permission. He had just offered it and said, you know...
He just threw that out there.
He just wanted to let us know if we chose to continue to record today.
Was that his British way of saying, please don't until I come back? Did we have to look?
I don't understand
I didn't
the
look at
British.
the chart when he called me.
You don't understand the British.
So, what was it? Oh, by the way, a little shout out. We had Steelheart like us and follow us on Twitter, which I thought was great.
Nice.
I mean, you've been excited about this all week.
Well, it kind of fucked me up. I'm like, we never talked to them. We never said anything with them.
But you've been a fan of theirs.
It's no more than any other 80s hard rock band.
But it's still cool. I mean, it's a band you listen to, or
Yeah,
did listen to, especially back when we were younger.
Sweet. What really messed me up, I was like, they're still around?
Yeah.
Because I hadn't heard from them since, was it 89, 90? When they came out with their self-titled album, so it's been a while, so it kind of messed me up a little bit.
By the way, the old fart over here has just gone on Facebook via my smartphone.
He's finally joined the 21st century.
And put the fact that I'm hanging with the backdoor radio gang today. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of backdoor references later on.
Yes, yes.
Indeed.
But when I gave you the Iron Maiden stuff, Fred, you were like, you actually liked the Blaze Bailey.
I liked it, and I like his voice. And then when I was listening to the live version of what's the
Man on the Edge.
Yeah, Man on the Edge. And I listened to that, and it was almost as if he was saying, guys, I don't think I can hang with the big boys. I think I need to leave. Just listening to it, that's kind of the sense I got. Because it's hard to describe, but I don't think his heart was in it on that performance. Maybe it wasn't, and maybe, I don't know. But that's what it sounded like, and then from what you were talking about how he was kind of looking for a way out, and he was kind of assisted by the guys in the band who are still, on good terms with him.
Oh yeah, because Blaze
another
Bailey's
awesome
actually
thing
got a
about-
link on the Iron Maiden website.
Yeah, but I mean that's another awesome thing about those guys is that they're not prima donna jack-offs,
Right.
and they're good people.
Well, I mean, the reason why Fred and I talked about this a lot was that if you go back and look at what's commonly referred to as the Pete Floyd Wars, that when Roger Waters left the band, this is something I was going to touch up on when I do a highlight show for Pete Floyd, was that David Gilmour and the rest of the band members were still going to go forward with the name Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Roger took exception to that because, to put it in layman's terms, he considered himself Pink Floyd.
Right.
And it was almost like where Guns N' Roses, where Axl wanted the copyright to the name Guns N' Roses.
Mm-hmm.
It was very similar in vein of attitude with Pink Floyd. So there was always this constant back and forth, very similar to David Lee Roth and Van Halen with Pink Floyd and Roger Waters. So there was that prima donna type attitude of, well, it's not Pink Floyd because I'm not part of the band. And so Iron Maiden doesn't do that.
No.
So
Nope.
we thought that was an awesome comparison with a lot of the big wig bands that replace a singer. We're also of the opinion there's very few bands that can change the lead singer and still keep the name.
Mm-hmm.
AC/DC being a prime example. It sucks that Bon had died, which, by the way, yesterday would have been his 65th birthday had he lived. But if you didn't have his death, you
And
wouldn't
his
have...
liver would have been 120.
Yes, it would.
Rehashing jokes. Sorry.
If Bon hadn't died, you wouldn't have had Back in Black,
Right.
which is one of the greatest AC/DC albums of all time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And very few people can really argue that that's not a good album.
And the ones that do, I don't give a fuck about.
Right.
Just to be frank,
Yeah.
if you don't think it's a great album,
Yeah.
don't bother talking to us.
Yeah.
I don't
Not
know
worth
if
our
Frank
time.
minds me being Frank, but what the hell?
What?
Oh, I don't know.
You're being silly.
Yes.
But Judas
anyways.
Priest went through the same thing when they got Ripper Owens to replace Rob Halford.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't quite mesh. I mean, Ripper's a great singer, but it wasn't Rob Halford. And in my personal opinion, being a fan of Judas Priest, it's not Judas Priest without Rob Halford. He is the embodiment and the voice of Priest. Then you get bands like Rainbow or Deep Purple, where they change the lead singer so many times, because it's basically those two bands were just jam bands.
Mm-hmm.
They just made music that was very popular. David Coverdale was a singer for Deep Purple for a couple albums. Joe Lynn Turner was with Rainbow. Ronnie James Dio was with Rainbow. So it depends on the band, depends on the genre, depends on a lot of factors. But with Maiden, granted, Paul Di'Anno started the band, but as far as I'm concerned, it's always Bruce. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like Blaze Bailey so much with that band, was because it wasn't Bruce.
Well, I kind of wonder. Fred saying that he got the impression that was it with both albums that you had heard with Blaze, or was it just the second one
He
specifically?
listened to both.
Yeah, I listened to.
Well, I mean, the
pieces
second
of
one
both.
specifically, where you feel like his heart wasn't in it.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if there was so much backlash from the fans saying he's
Could
not
be,
Bruce, it's
Yeah.
not Maiden. I don't want to listen to it. If that maybe kind of made him feel like he wasn't. I mean, and not to say that Blaze was trying to be Bruce, but if you get that much backlash from your fans,
You're not gonna
you're
wanna
gonna
stay
feel
there.
like shit. I mean,
True.
And I'm sure he knew it would be a tough go when he started, because
course,
he's taking
you
over
can't.
for somebody that has
Yeah.
very identifiable brand and all that. And when you do that, you know you're going to be in for it. But
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
I don't know. See, with the first album with Blaze, with X Factor, there was only one song on that whole album I actually cared for, and that was Man on the Edge.
Mhm.
The way that he sung, it sounded like he was still nervous. It didn't flow very well. But when you listen to Virtual 11, it flowed a lot better. It flowed a lot like the way Bruce used to sing.
Mhm.
It was just a different voice.
Uh,
So I kind of liked a little bit more.
But it's. Go ahead.
I liked a little bit more of the tunes on Virtual 11 as opposed to the X Factor.
Mhm.
Basically, because it's like, okay, freshman album, not so great. Sophomore album, it sounded a lot better. It sounded better produced, especially with Steve Harris producing. Where he was literally whipping that boy into gotta go with the flow, gotta go with this, gotta go with this, gotta go with this. So Steve was basically the ringleader of those two albums and how he produced it. I even let you listen to the interview where he sat there and talked about how Blaze said that Steve Harris being the producer was kind of like a love-hate relationship, where he was like, okay, great, he knows where he's going with this, but at the same time, he was such a OCD about it
Mhm.
that he would literally do like 11 takes on one particular track in a particular vein, and he's like, okay, if I screw this up, is he going to be mad at me? So the second album flowed a lot better, but there was so much issue with the fans not liking it. The two albums with Blaze was the least selling records in the entire history of Iron Maiden. They just did not sell as well. I don't even think they made 1 million copies.
wow.
I mean, I gotta say, if you're in that stressful of an environment, I can't imagine that Blaze would have felt comfortable. I think Steve producing is fabulous, but if you think your fans don't like you, the producer is riding your ass on everything.
Yeah.
You already feel like shit because you feel like you're not good enough because you're trying to replace Alaska. I can't
I can imagine
say that I
felt
don't-
comfortable.
exactly. And so I'm not surprised that Blaze didn't stay. And then to also on top of everything, you mentioned that he sung more like Bruce on the second record. What if that's not how he wanted to sing? And then you have that added.
I was talking to Fred about this, that he had the voice of Paul Di'Anno trying to sing like Bruce. And it just, to me, just didn't sound right. I'm all about trying to, listen to a band that replaces their singer.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I'm not surprised that Blaze didn't stick around for more than 2 albums, was it?
2 albums. Plus, we talked about this with Van Halen, where Gary Cherone sung for an album when Sammy Hagar left the band. I was very interested in how it sounded, but the way I got the vibe from, because I was a big Extreme fan, so I liked Gary Cherone as a singer. So I was like, okay, this will be interesting. But the problem is that he was trying to sound too much like David Lee Roth during the David Lee Roth songs. He was trying to sound too much like Sammy Hagar during the Sammy Hagar era songs. And was trying to sound like a mixture of both with the Gary Cherone songs. And he wasn't being Gary. And that was what I was hoping for, was like, okay, this is going to be interesting with Van Halen and you got Gary Cherone. I want to hear what they sound like. And it was just bad. It just wasn't a great mix the way they did it. Had they approached it differently, it might have been something different. Same thing with the Blaze Bayley era. If they had just approached it a little bit differently and been a little bit more relaxed about it, plus with all the outside influences with Steve and his divorce, and they're still upset that Bruce had left to do his own solo thing. I think the one that was angry the most was Nickel McBrain, that was more upset than anybody else that Bruce had left.
And how do you? I can't imagine how Blaze must have felt coming into that situation,
Right.
Exactly.
being the new kid, and and everything.
He even said in an interview where they got the confirmation call that he was a singer, he's like, "Are you sure you got the right guy? Are you sure?"
Yeah, and he said he had to go get drunk.
Yeah, they put him in a bottle and spent the entire weekend there because he's like, I got the gig, and then reality set in.
And
Right.
It's like, fuck.
But then again, you look at Ripper Owens, who's like, sweet, I got the job. Let's see what I can do with this. So it all depends on the attitude you have.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people don't like the Ripper Owens Priest. It was okay for what it was, but he followed Painkiller. That's kind of hard to top.
Yeah.
That's really hard to top.
Yeah.
And then you look at Halford, who's got an illustrious career, not only with Priest, but as a solo artist, and his other side projects, too, and Fight, which is it's different.
Mm-hmm.
That's what one of our old coworkers used to say, because that's why I hated St. Anger from Metallica. He says, no, it's Metallica. It's different. No, that album sucked, dude.
Yeah.
That album sucked.
They you know what the problem with those guys is? They went from being metal to going, let's get mommies and their children into the arena, and then you get them in there, and the first song you do is So What? Why would you want to do that to people? I don't get it. You know,
I used to, when I worked at a grocery store, I was working third shift as a stalker, and some kid comes up to me and said, have you heard this new band Metallica? And that was after the Black Album. And I'm like, dude, they've been around since '83.
Yeah.
No, they have. Yeah, they have. This is just the first time you've heard them on the radio. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, let's go to the section in the store, asshole.
So, yeah, so people...
But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons why we started this, was because half the people who listen to music don't even realize
What they're
there's a
listening
history behind it.
Exactly.
So, let's see. So, Virtual 11 was the 11th studio album, was released in 1998.
Wait,
Hmm?
I have one other thing about the Blaze era.
Yes.
So we talked about fans' reaction, we talked about in the studio, we talked about the band members' reaction. One thing that we didn't bring up, and something that I will probably always complain about, is the record company itself having a little too much say in what, you know, musicians should make and things like that. So I can't help but also wonder if during this whole time, you know, the X Factor didn't do so well, so they're recording the next album, and the record company's like, why don't you make him sing like Bruce? So it's kind of like...
That could be an issue. I do know, you might be able to back this up a little bit better than I could.
I'm just thinking from a marketing standpoint.
Right.
If you're looking at, well, what sold when Bruce was singing?
Right.
What didn't sell when this guy was singing? So why don't you just have the current guy sing like what sold and see how that goes? So it's kind of...
But some record labels, especially with EMI and Castle and then Sanctuary, with their flagship bands, I think they give them a little bit more leeway. So I think your theory has some basis to it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I would theorize.
I mean,
Steve
we weren't there.
Yeah, fuck you, mate.
Yeah.
We're gonna do what we want.
I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing out all options as
When
to
I looked it up,
why
the history, I didn't see anything about the record label having any influence at all.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Sometimes they would mention it, sometimes they wouldn't.
I think they need to stay the fuck out of it.
Right. Oh, I mean, even when record companies have ironclad, the artist has this right, they'll fuck with them anyway.
One of the greatest interviews I ever saw with Jimmy Lane from Warrant was when they did the Down Boys, the Dirty Rotten Filthy Sneaking Rich album, when they came into the office where the head CEO was at. Behind his chair in this big huge desk was an oversized poster of that album, and they were like, "Fuck yeah, we made it." The next time they come in with Cherry Pie, behind his desk was Alice in Chains' Facelift. So they knew from seeing that poster, they knew that their niche wasn't as concrete as it was the previous 2 years before. So they even knew that not only the fans fickle, so are your management.
Oh yeah.
So you're depending, and this was CBS Records.
Yep.
So it all depends on, you know, that's when he realized it was more about marketing than it was about the music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I hate about it most.
Oh, that is what they are all about. It's just, you know, how can we fit these people into a particular box so we can sell it? And if you don't fit into any of those boxes, they don't want to sell you.
Yeah. Because
they won't buy you and they won't sell you.
80s douchebag mentality. I mean, I know it was around before the 80s, but...
it really reared its ugly head in the
80s. And you were asking me earlier why the German bands that I actually listen to aren't promoted or anything in the state. That's exactly. They consider it a risk because they sing in German. Or even if they don't sing, even if they sing in English, it's still considered a risk.
That, to me, is just...
That's one of the reasons why Maiden is nowhere near as huge here as it is in Europe. There's a shit ton now. There's a shit ton of fans in the States, but nowhere near the fanatical numbers in Europe.
Yep.
Because what was it you were asking me about the seating capacity in Europe?
Yeah.
Minimum 50,000. minimum.
Damn.
He was looking at the Rock in Rio they did the last time they did. 210,000 people attended that show.
Oh yeah.
Just for the Maiden segment, 210,000. And if you look at some of the videos, like the Fear of the Dark video from that DVD, Bruce turns the camera out to the crowd. All you see is a sea of bodies. You don't see grass. You don't see in the distance. You don't see nothing but a sea of bodies. It's just, I'm like, holy crap. There's a great place for, hey, God's going to strike me down now. I'll take 210,000 of them. Since we've pretty much wrapped up the Maiden stuff, I'd like to mention a couple other bands. Like I said, I posted on Facebook. Who the fuck is Birth Control? Why have I not heard of these people?
Huh?
They're German.
I was looking up the German bands for you, and I came across a German band called Birth Control.
Are you serious?
And
Yes.
they've been around since '72.
Yeah, he was playing some video stuff of theirs, and I was looking at it, and I was just because I'm from that era, so I was looking at it, going, "Damn, that reminds me of the '70s." The feel and the sound and the hair and the.
Get an opportunity to look up the live version of Gamma Ray by Birth Control.
Okay.
I was just like,
I've
never heard of these, and they spoke in English.
Yeah.
But they kind of had that Creedence, the Doors, the Yes, that kind of feel when you listen to them. Like it was boogie '70s music, and I was just like, wow, these guys are phenomenal. And they're still together. they are still together, and I'm just like, how come I've never heard of them? Same thing with Warhorse. I found Warhorse after listening to Birth Control because on YouTube they have the side videos of other bands that are related. I was like, what? So I was listening going, I just found more music to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one thing that I found when I started getting into the German music, and one thing that I really
It was kitty cat.
scared the kitty. Kitty knocked over a water bottle and scared itself. But no, I mean, it was, I guess, comforting and exciting at the same time to know that I wasn't limited by what was released in the United States.
Right.
That
Indeed.
I could look into other countries and they do have some baller music. So that was...
Like Bjork.
Yes.
This
For one.
Bjork's
I mean,
hit and miss.
What I love about her is, besides the fact that she's a little off, but she really pushes herself on every album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you could argue that her self-titled debut album and Post and even Homogenic are very similar in the vein of the type of music, but especially just, I mean, comparing Vespertine to Medulla, I mean, like, it's completely different.
Well, it's like White Stripes.
Mm-hmm.
I love Seven Nation Army. I thought that was a baller fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started listening to the rest of their stuff going, yeah, no, I only like the one song.
Well, I don't have any of their CDs, and I don't have any of Jack White's stuff, no matter which band you're talking about, but I'll go and, plunk in stuff and go, that's interesting, without listening to the whole album per se, like he did. He produced Loretta Lynn's album, most recent album, and he made her sound like Janis Joplin, not like Loretta Lynn. I mean, she does and she doesn't. And there's this one song that if you put their two names in YouTube, you'll come up with a David Letterman link. Them performing this song on David Letterman, and depending on what he does, like just watching him on the movie with him, Jimmy and the Edge, watching him do, just like take a couple pieces of wood and some wire and make a guitar out of it.
That's what Brian May did.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really interesting. Oh, it is. It is. What? But yeah, I like really inventive people that just can make something out of nothing, especially musicians that come up with different things that you wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And, well, it's Georgiana Page. She's doing
Shoving her face full.
And I see we have two new feline editions, or at least one that I haven't seen before.
That one's Dobby.
Which
The
one?
orange one.
The orange one's named Dobby.
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 Oh,
From
yeah?
Harry Potter.
Oh, hello. How you doing over there?
See his big blue eyes and his funky nose.
The big ears.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
You know, it,
Should we wrap it up?
What, are we done?
I don't know, are we? I'm asking.
I still haven't talked about the Chav of the Week.
oh,
Well,
well,
I
you
didn't know
better
if we were going to
chav on, bro.
wrap up the Maiden thing and then have Chap of the Week included on.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we're done with
I-
the Maiden stuff. Unless I, throw some little tidbits out, later shows.
Well, we were going to have a, I thought we were going to have a, Jesus
He's
Christ.
on a rant.
He is, I don't know what he's talking about.
Money to be.
What was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh no, we were going to have a, like a wrap up. Just kind of after we get some feedback from people, questions or comments or.
Oh yeah, I was
Just kind of like a, after a month or two, just kind of be like, hey, we did this Maiden show, and here's some stuff.
So I'm gonna talk about the website and some other stuff for you.
Okay, cool.
Cool. So you
Alrighty,
want to pause it?
well-
We'll be back in a few.
Did you want to, is there an ending, an outro, will you,
Not on this one.
for the Maiden stuff? Okay. Cool deal.
Sweet. We'll be back.
Alrighty then. We're back.
Yay!
I feel like you're going to have an aneurysm every time you do that voice.
And see,
You're just going to say something a little too extensively crazy and just,
say, bang my cock really hard. Well, that was really crazy. All right. Shall we continue?
Well, I think Analog Kid has some news and some Chav of the Week.
Yes, the Chavs of the Week. Whoever put the nuptials together for these two goddamn chihuahuas in Illinois. Wedding sessions have gone to the dogs, literally. Residents at a suburban Chicago nursing home witnessed the nuptials between two chihuahuas last week. The Arlington Heights Daily Herald reports that nurses aide Cheryl Bobik, B-O-B-I-K, organized the quirky event as a fun activity for residents. I could think of other things I'd like to see in a nursing home than two goddamn miniature rats getting married. They've got pictures. She's wearing a tiara.
Are we gonna be able to watch them consummate their relationship?
Ew!
Oh, doggy style.
See him going.
He's got a fucking cummerbund on, for Christ's sake. What the fuck is this bullshit?
Imagine him dressed up like that. And
Look at that. She's even got the little frilly thing.
Oh.
Oh, now Giselle fell in love with the picture.
The bitch has got bling.
She's got bling.
I didn't fall in love with the picture. I just think that's fucking. I think it's hilarious when you put clothing on animals. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen dogs
Sweaters
this size
on
with
a
the
dog.
word security written on their shirt, and I just can't take it seriously.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Bite my ankles? I'll step on you. Yeah, those are the Chavs of the Week. Whoever came up with that retarded bullshit. So, I'd like to point out what the fuck is going on in England.
Yes.
Uh
Mount Olive Ministries Church built without permission.
oh. What?
Really?
A Christian minister who built a church in Devon without planning permission said he was glad someone reported him to the local council. What?
Huh?
What? It says that the church attracts about 50 worshippers a week. This is on the fucking bbc.co.uk website.
Yeah.
So
Pat-
wait.
Hmm?
So
News of the weird.
he built a church without planning. Does that
without
mean like
planning permission, so he didn't get a permit.
so he didn't get a permit? Okay.
So they noticed
So-
him building
so-
the church the whole fucking
Oh
time.
no,
They're
the church
not
has
saying
been
anything.
built.
Yeah.
And
For how long?
someone decided to rat him.
Wow.
But wait a minute.
Probably
They-
a chav.
Yeah. Okay, Coach Av of the week there, but they're building.
Well, they won't let me steal the collection plate, so I figured I'd just report to the authorities.
Yeah, but they're
I only
building the
have
thing.
50 sheep.
That's right.
What?
And I've got 50 friends. Anyway,
Oh, the old boys.
yeah.
Pastor Paul
They're all
Knight.
Spaniards then.
Pastor Paul Knight said God had told him to build that church.
But okay, but so wait.
What?
Someone had to rat you know, they don't notice there's a building going up in a particular.
Generally, if you see a building, generally, if you see a building going up, most people assume.
Yeah, but
It's
the
supposed to
planning,
be there.
the planning people
Aren't
whose job it is to
permits
control
supposed
that
to
sort
be
of thing go by
posted
that thing
on
every
the
day, and they
construction
don't
sites?
fucking see
I
it.
don't know. Well, see, I don't know
In
how
the
it is
States.
over in England. In the States, they're
States.
supposed to be open to public record, usually
Yeah.
down at the courthouse,
Mhm.
and they're posted on a wall
Yeah.
of what you know, what's being built, what's going to.
We've allowed Johnny to put a porta potty on the corner.
Yes. Pastor John Knights built Mount Olive Minister's Church next to his Christmas tree plantation outside Turquoise.
Bless you.
Torquay, more
That
than
was
a
a
decade ago. So he built this 10 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
And they're just now reporting him?
Timebridge District
Exactly.
Council planning officers are due to make a decision about the building shortly. Pastor Knight said God told him to build the church. He told BBC Spotlight the Lord confirmed that he wanted the building built, so he started building.
Oh, yeah.
I just felt I needed to build and cross that bridge when I came. Oh, little pun there, aren't we?
Yeah. And that's sort of like that little voice crept into my head and told me to put a building there, so I did.
You need to take some medication.
Exactly.
I mean, whether or not God actually spoke to the guy, I mean, no matter what God tells you, you're still living in a society where there's laws and there's rules, and it's you can't just ignore
And
them.
according to Catholic dogma, it is stated that God says he will hold unto heaven what we hold unto here. So God, according to Catholic dogma, God basically states that if you create laws, I will uphold them here in heaven as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that may be a little stretching it,
Right.
but if you're looking at it from a technical point of view, there are laws and regulations for a reason. It's not because there's the oppressive government. No, it's so people can actually live a decent society. There's got to be a reason. You have to build it. If you want to build it, we've got no problem with it, but to make sure it's up to code, to make sure it's
Exactly.
safe, to make sure you got the proper plumbing. I mean, I had to sit there and when we went to the beach, I had to explain to the 15-year-old, she said there's no bathrooms in the restaurant we went to. And I said, that's bullshit. Because
There
there's
has to be.
there's a sign out there that says no public restrooms. Yes, there's no restrooms to the public, but if you serve food in
Mm-hmm.
the States, you're required by law to have a bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, and that's the other thing too. I mean, yeah, it's been there for 10 years. Yeah, oh, just now somebody's. But I mean, the fact that, I mean, it may have never even been inspected. I mean, what if it was built wrong? What if it was
Yep.
built unsafely? I mean, thankfully there hasn't been an accident that's occurred because it was built because it was built incorrectly.
Right, it's all about
I
liability.
mean, you can't just in today's society you can't just go out and build a
things
church
because you want to.
where people are going to actually come. You expect them to come for you.
Oh
to
yeah,
preach.
you look at the
I mean, you can't do that.
what's the big cathedral, Notre Dame?
Mm-hmm.
Granted, it was built hundreds of years ago, but they had codes, their own codes and their own specs back then. But that sucker has been reevaluated multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the modernization of architecture and society, it's always looked at because it's going to be to the point where we can't keep people in here
Right.
anymore because it's so old and we've got new ways of safety and everything. So everything's looked at. He said somebody reported us. Well, I just want to say thank you to that person. It's time to come out of the cave, and if the Lord has used that person to report me, then I say praise the Lord. You're fucking wicked crazy. Timebridge District Council said if the building has been in place for 4 years or more, a developer could apply for a certificate of lawfulness to stay there.
I mean, my main thing is make sure it's safe.
Cal,
Make
what the
sure.
fuck? What's going on with your people?
I mean, if they want to keep the churches fine, people want to worship it, whatever. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the possibility of it not being safe.
Right.
And it not being written down, not being attempted to be fixed.
If
I mean,
yeah, 'cause
fucking
if I'm-
inspect the shit.
if I'm going to
before
attend
you
an
allow
event-
it to continue to be there the way it is.
Right. If I'm going to attend an event, I don't want safety to be the foremost thing on my mind.
Exactly.
I want to make sure that I can actually take it for granted.
Mhm.
Another thing going on in the news.
Yeah.
This is also at the BBC.
Uh-oh,
Rosendale
Alfie.
farmers told, bring the rubbish to the town.
Huh?
People in Lancashire told
How many hoes does it take? No. What is it?
people in Lancashire
Yeah, the Beatles lyric when he's. No, shit, I can't remember.
Doom.
are angry that rubbish
I'm old.
collectors, I like how they call it rubbish, it's garbage collectors
Also
It's rubbish, damn you!
at outlying homes are being scrapped to save council funds.
Huh.
Basically, what this news article is that you're not allowed to take your trash to the street anymore. You have to bring it in town. They're not going to come collect it anymore.
Oh, wow.
So, gotta go back to dumping into the Thames, are we?
Oh, snap.
Thames.
Thames, Thames, whatever. You pronounce it the way it's spelled.
Oh, fuck you. Sod off, then.
Ears torn off in Accrington.
Was Mike Tyson there?
Accrington. Vicious attack. An 18-year-old man has had the tops of his ears torn off after being grabbed by an attacker as he walked home in Lancashire in the early hours. The victim was pulled into a side street, and as he walked along Eastgate at about 1:30 in the morning. What the fuck was he doing out at 1:30 in the bloody morning?
He was coming home
I
from the
dunno.
pub.
He had been taken away
Yeah.
on Wally Street.
Wally Street.
Well, it's Whalley. Whaley.
Whaley.
Let's
With
ask
friends-
Fred. Clearly he knows how to pronounce
With
it.
friends
Yeah.
minutes earlier, but became separated from them, the police said. You mean the Bobbies?
The Bobbies.
The man escaped from his attacker and summoned help from the taxi office. Taxi office? Really? Police described the incident as a vicious attack and said officers were trying to establish whether a weapon had been used. Police suspect foul play. Detective Sergeant Paul Langley said there are a number of takeaways.
Langley?
And
I know somebody with that last name. That's funny.
And
Yes.
taxi offices nearby, which may have had staff or customers who may have seen the incident or anything else suspicious, and I would urge them to come forward. Guy taking the tops of ears as trophies. What's going on in England?
It's creepy.
I don't know.
There's gonna be a horror movie like that now.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about, Blondie drummer to get doctorate.
What?
Yes. Really? Doctorate degree?
Well, if they could
Well,
have a
what-
doctorate in what they do for a living. then-
Well, let's click on the link and find out.
Yeah. Let's do.
Live on the radio. Well,
Right
Internet
here,
radio.
we're going to click on a link, as you will.
live right now, but you won't hear it till later.
And we're
Glenn
going
Burr,
to
drummer for the
investigate it.
Drummer with the band Blondie is to receive an honorary doctorate from the University of, good God Almighty, Gloucester Shire.
Gloucestershire.
Gloucestershire.
Yeah.
Crap.
Uh,
What is that drummer wearing in that picture?
I have no idea.
Is that honestly how he's being honored wearing that?
I think those
I
are
think it's
headphones and a microphone.
Oh, is it a microphone? Like a gas mask.
It does look like a
I was like, what is going on?
It's out
let's
there
see,
now,
the
as you know.
musician has been awarded in the degree of, for his groundbreaking work with students as part of the Pioneering Drum Project.
Cool.
The project was launched in 2008 to explore the positive physical and psychological effects of drumming. It has also been used as a target for super obese children.
Huh.
Doesn't say what he's getting a doctorate in.
That's still really cool. Still really cool.
But yes, what the hell is going on in England?
England's going a little bonkers, I think.
Oh.
Are you okay, Brad?
Yeah.
You just had this thought of what is going on in England right
Yeah.
now.
I really want to know what the fuck is going on in England. They've lost their goddamn minds.
They have.
Harvey. You could at least tell us that.
Yeah, like, what is it?
Since he still hasn't responded to some of our emails.
Ooh, Galvey?
Calvi.
Hello, Galvington.
Calvington.
Yeah, that makes him a bit classier over there.
Sounds like a town in the UK.
I like
Yeah,
how,
I live in
I like
Covington.
how some reporters hacked into some cell phones.
Yes,
over England.
Rupert Murdoch, the scumbag I don't like anyway,
But
is
they're
getting a torrent of shit all over him.
and they're going to close down over 100-year-old newspaper.
Yep.
I think that's kind of fucked up.
Wait.
Well, you know,
Wait,
it was a
wait,
rag
wait.
anyway.
Still. What?
Oh, they hacked
No, I
into the
forgot
cell
what that-
phone records of people that had lost
I know.
soldiers.
I don't see how that's necessary to shut down the news.
He's trying. Well, what he's trying to do is stem the bleeding because now they're going to go after his Fox News empire next because they had their Twitter account hacked into, and and someone posted a story that the president was dead and tweeted it from their
I saw
Twitter
that.
account. Yeah,
I saw that. Part of
So-
me kind of giggled.
So I mean, they're getting a raft of shit for various reasons, but
I think
Because
that
I'm sorry, because I was expecting,
No,
Obama
go
to come
for
out on a
three.
podium and go, the rumors of my death are highly exaggerated.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it, so I'm like, there's no balls.
well, yeah, my thoughts
Yeah,
on
well.
that. Giselle.
So let me get this straight. A couple of douchebag reporters decided to hack into people's cell phones. And because of their actions, they're now closing down a newspaper that's been around for over a
137
century.
years.
Yep.
137 years, I think.
That's ridiculous.
News of the World. That was the name of the rag.
I mean,
Maybe that's what the Queen album was named after. I don't know.
doo-doo.
Could be.
But
To do.
but no, I mean that's if little individuals want to be douchebags, to try
Fire
that. Don't
them.
just fucking close down a newspaper because of it. Well, then again, if the reporters actually, if the magazine or the newspaper published what the reporters found, then they could then be.
Excuse me, 160 years.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, it's been around a while. It's
Indeed.
one of the oldest rag newspapers in the world.
Wow.
Sunday Tabloid was first published October 1st, 1843.
Oh, snap. I mean, whether it's a good or bad newspaper, the fact that it's been around for that long and it's being shut down because of the actions of a couple of douchebags, I mean, it's kind
One
of
of
tragic.
them was an editor, and who also happens to be buddy with the Prime Minister of England.
I noticed that. I was like, oh, wow.
In a bit of, you've got
What
your
were they
knickers in a
looking
wad,
for?
have you? What?
Like, what is the point of rummaging around in somebody else's phone records?
Well, there isn't.
Well, I
no-
know.
No legal, legitimate point. I'll put it that
I
way.
know, but I'm just curious. Why would you do something that stupid? What is so? Oh,
And
you
it
have to
wasn't-
know.
And for one of them, it wasn't the first time he'd been nailed for
Are you
doing
kidding me?
so. No.
What is the matter with people?
So maybe that's why they're nailing the newspaper, because apparently they're not learning their lesson.
Maybe.
You know,
It's a shame.
it is. Well, it's a
People are
shame that
fucktards.
it's a shame that a newspaper has to go down the drain because of it. But
Cock tarts
indeed,
and cunt waffles everywhere. Oh,
damn, I never had any of those.
So other than busting Cal's balls for,
I mean, we could bust his balls for the next hour.
apparently not, having a life outside us, which is, I don't recall giving permission for that.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't listen to you. I mean, look, Nameless ain't even here right now. I mean, really, you can tell.
It's because he's a dick.
We don't listen to you. But,
Screw you guys and go home.
no, he doesn't want to Skype with us. I don't know why.
not Skyping. What?
Skype, not squirt. You sick bastard.
Hey, I'm just telling you what I thought you said.
See, now you got him started. I hope you're happy.
Yeah. What, by making every breath count, even your last one.
That was a yawn. Apparently, I need to clarify. Because last time I did that, I scared she. Like, I tried to on the beach. She was like, what the fuck was that? I was what? Ding ding.
I don't know.
What was that voice?
That was
Certainly
the,
wasn't Bruce Willis.
That sounded like Fred spooning.
Yeah. Hi, baby.
Wow.
I feel like I need to leave the room.
That's a real badonkadonk.
Wow.
Things you don't expect Fred to say. Badongadonk.
Yeah. What's she picturing over there?
She's flashing me. That's all she's doing.
You wish I was flashing you.
Yeah.
Now I'm
It
just
is.
blinding you with a light. That's not the same thing.
Blinding by the light. Oh, jeez.
Better call King Loggins because you're in the danger zone.
Yeah, you got a point there. Oh.
Moving. Everything's all blurry.
Eh? Eh?
Still blurry. Okay, apparently I can't hold the camera still. Got a little too much tea.
She's had too much tea
So
then.
no more tea for you, no more coffee for him.
Just shut up. I got a whole glass left. But bam! That's
Badonka
2 cups of hot tea, which was blood orange tea.
Where'd you get that cup?
And
The Iron Maiden cup?
no,
At
that's
the
fine.
concert?
I wasn't finishing my sentence. That's fine.
I'm sorry, did you say something?
Clearly
I
I didn't.
I had a
Fuck
shiny moment. I'm sorry.
that. But he uses that cup every single time we record here.
Not that,
In his
I have
garage.
3 different cups.
I know you got one at work, one here, and then
I've
another
got
one
2
that
here.
I'm again not letting me finish my sentence.
I'm sorry, with your caffeine, you're still not talking fast enough.
Gonna hit you.
Smack him hard.
I might like that though.
Not like that.
Break
She's
some
gonna
teeth.
smack him.
Breaks teeth.
If you're not gonna, never mind. I was just.
No, don't even. Don't.
You know,
No.
you don't want me to go there, honey.
It doesn't work when my brother's not here.
What, the rape whistle?
The dolphin rape whistle.
Yeah,
Because when you do it and he's not here, we don't care.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And she wonders why I interrupt her.
Would that be Gisellus Interruptus?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Gisellus Interruptus.
You make no sense.
Okay.
I wonder if we should have just like a little clip segment that's just all of our running jokes.
Yeah.
No, actually,
To
we should
explain it, like as like a 101 to our radio station.
No, I see what you're saying, but we should make Cal do it because he's been a bitch.
I think that is a glorious idea.
He promised to do a sister site, and since that isn't up yet because I haven't seen shit,
But he wanted to make sure that you wanted him to do it.
he should be able to read minds.
If he could do that, then he wouldn't need to leave the house. He wouldn't need a job.
I thought I was sitting on a cat. I heard it go meow, and I thought, oh shit, I'm sitting on a cat.
Fred doesn't know when he sits on the pussy.
Yeah.
I call Putty.
I haven't been that close to pussy in a while. But,
Fresh.
huh?
Nothing.
You are a horrible man.
But you're the one throwing out the email to us, well, who the fuck wants James Hetfield's nuts that close to their daily activities, which I thought was hysterical.
Oh, it was a planner, and
That's funny.
they
by the
couldn't
way,
just have the top half of it. No, they had to have the whole thing. And I bought Nameless it because he said he wouldn't mind. So
could somebody tell me who quoted this?
can I finish my statement, please? Captain Interruption over there.
I'm sorry.
Interruption!
Go ahead.
No, I bought Nameless the
She bought.
planner, and the nuts part is the front section. Like you would assume that the top half of James's arms there go woo. That would be the front cover. No, that's the back cover. His nuts are the front cover of this planner. Hilarious.
His nuts.
Business up front, casual in the back.
Apparently,
Business in the front and party in the back.
he's just like, here's my balls.
For us, one principle is very basic. The same rights that people have offline. Freedom of expression, including the freedom to seek information, freedom of assembly and association, amongst others, must also be protected online. Who said that?
I have a smartest comment like you
The
myself.
United States government.
When? Because they clearly don't want hold of this.
Clearly.
Our government did as it endorsed a statement supporting a United Nations report on global internet freedom earlier this month.
So when are they actually going to put that into practice?
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly.
Dun-dun.
So yeah,
That's chavtastic.
exactly.
Well, it's also quite typical. It really is. And
I just thought that was
That's hilarious.
dumb.
I just
Yes, I know that's what you said. I'm simplifying
what?
because I can't.
Huh? Well, I'm certainly not into next week, but I'm definitely at least 3 days in the future right now. Jeez. It's creepy being in here. When you travel into the future from having too much sugar and caffeine.
You travel into the future.
Because you're just surrounded by Star Wars memorabilia, and you're just like, what year is it? Because they're on the ceiling, they're just hanging out, it's like you just hit warp speed, and it's like, fuck.
You're like,
Is that figure...
use
What
the
is that figure
force.
doing? It looks like it has a helmet on, but it's shirtless.
What are you talking about?
It's a Star Wars figure.
Which one? There's several of them. up there.
Use the force.
The one that I'm looking at, can't you tell?
There's like 80 of them up there. Which one?
It looks like a Guido of the galaxy. I mean, it's just like... It's like he's got a Boba Fett helmet on. Like the bounty hunter helmet.
That one?
Yeah, that one.
That's Captain
Is he shirtless?
Rex. No.
Oh, well, see, look, in the picture, it looks like he's shirtless. So it looks like he has on a bounty hunter helmet, and then like a button-up, open shirt. All it needs is the gold chain and some hair stuck to it.
Yeah. No, and some greased back hair.
Yeah. Well, you can't tell because you get the helmet on. You know?
Oh.
We're talking about the Guido of the Galaxy.
Overall effect.
Y'all are dead.
At least I didn't sack it, okay?
You couldn't
If
reach
you're
it.
not
And
gonna
I
sack
can't
it,
sack
go
it either. I
on
mean, I
like
don't have a sack, but...
it.
There's quite a few jokes there.
Yes, I just gave you one.
Was it free?
Yes. The second one's in your mouth.
You better open wide.
That's right. Here it comes then.
Do I have to gurgle it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I could dance across my tonsils.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Let's try to make everyone in the place completely grossed out.
I think we've already done that.
Yeah. I think we have. I really do.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you really?
I really do. I really do.
Did you see the Pink Floyd's re-releasing their catalog with all the
Yeah.
and unreleased stuff?
I would love to get the whole damn catalog now.
That's gonna be awesome.
Will you sack it when you own it?
Yes. A little bit of saliva mixed in.
And then he'll
Oh.
go home.
You're not supposed to French it.
No. Does she make you horny?
What?
You know, in that voice. Do I make you? Isn't that Wayne's World?
No, it's
Do I make you
Austin
horny?
Powers.
Oh yeah, I knew it was something happening there.
The only
Yes,
part,
the Pink Floyd collection that's about to be re-released is going to have the voice of Austin Powers on. So you can talk to it
No.
and then make out with it. Apparently, that's what you were saying.
Oh.
the only thing I ever thought was ever funny about the Austin Powers films
Mm-hmm.
was Fat Bastard.
Really, I thought the only funny part was Seth Green.
No, he's talking to the midget. Get in my belly. And I think that was the only part that I thought was funny. Mike Myers is just hit and miss with me.
Well, he thinks he's funnier than he really
I
is.
do love coffee talk.
Yes.
Gotta admit that. It's
Yeah.
like butter.
You know, because when you know people like that or that sound that way, that's what makes it fun.
Yep. It gets you over, Clint.
Oh, here comes Barbara. And then she came on the show. That was hysterical.
It was.
Oh, I love Barbara.
I wanted one of them to pass out, though. I was kind of disappointed they didn't just, like, spaz out and...
But I'm one of the few people that didn't click here for The Office.
I've never watched it.
The British
so-
version or the American version?
I liked the British version. I did not like the American version.
Yeah.
Same thing with coupling, but I like coupling of both versions, the American and the British version.
I haven't seen anything.
Not sure what else to talk about.
You can talk about my ridiculous movie list that I posted on the website this week.
We can get Giselle
It's
to do
ridiculous. Did you know what I mean? You still haven't seen it. Oh my god, it is ridiculous.
we can get her to do the Japanese lady voice.
Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
There's a use for that somewhere. I'm not sure, but there is a use.
Yeah, Jimmy Pop would find a use for it.
Who?
Jimmy Pop.
Who's that?
He's the lead singer of Bloodhound Gang. He did a song Yellow Fever where he talks about fucking with an Oriental chick.
You mean Asian?
Whatever. See, when I was growing up, Asian was a no-no. Asian, when I was growing up in the 80s, you did not call people of Japanese or Chinese or Korean or whatever descent Asian. Because technically, Russians are Asians.
Oh.
Now, all of a sudden, you can't call them Oriental.
What fucks me up is we still call it an Oriental rug.
Oriental rug, Pearl of the Orient. Pearls.
Oh boy.
Speaking of yellow fever.
You know, ZZ Top has gotten away with sexual references directly in, what, 3 of their songs?
Just about every song.
Pearl Necklace, Tube Snake Boogie, and Tush.
Tush is not about ass. Tush is about getting high. The song is about going to find cocaine.
Okay.
I will look it up for you.
What about Shook Me All
No,
Night
that's
Long?
okay. Well, then they've gotten away with it twice.
That's AC/DC, baby, not ZZ Top.
Oh,
Then
I thought you said AC/DC. Did you not say AC/DC?
No, it says ZZ Top.
Oh, see, again, I don't
Then,
listen to you guys.
then they've gotten away with it twice anyway, so...
I really thought we were talking about AC/DC again.
Well, I mean, there's sexual reference all over Sleeping Bag.
Not paying attention.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Do you remember what album Tush was on?
Tush? Yeah, it's on Fandango. I used to
what
have that
happened
one, eh?
is 3 days in the future you were going to talk about AC/DC, and I was there. But the rest of me was here when you were talking about ZZ Top. So, it's where the confusion set in.
Exactly.
Doom,
Doom, doom. Oh, that sound. Yeah, yeah. Like when they... No, because I... No, I haven't watched that show very
I
much.
hurt my hand.
But whenever they go from whatever to whatever, and they go like that.
Yeah, it's
Okay, I take that back. According to Dusty Hill in Spin Magazine, the title is a double meaning,
Entendre.
double entendre, referring both to slang for buttocks and slang for the luxurious or lavish, according to a 1985 interview. I had heard it was about cocaine.
Ah. Well, according to Dusty, it's not. It's about ass.
and titties.
And titties.
And then again, you got Backdoor Love Affair number 2.
Yeah. Back
Number 2. Wow, double entendre.
It's
Yeah.
You have
terrible.
a number 2 while you're having a backdoor love affair.
Only if there's a cup involved.
And
Ew!
2 girls. And 2 girls.
Ew times infinity!
2 girls.
To
1
both of
cup.
you! Times infinity. Times infinity to the infinity power. Stop that. Oh, you're okay. You're doing the Dune Dune. I thought you were still going with the jokes. I was like,
Oh,
no.
no, I'm
You're
going.
done with moved on. And then next week.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, they've got a lot of, I mean,
Most of theirs, probably.
most of their songs. That's why I got so mad at Eddie Van Halen, where he's sitting there, the reason why they kicked Sammy Hagar out of the band, because he was sick and tired of singing about pussy. And I'm like, ZZ Top been doing it for 40 years. What the fuck are you bitching about?
Exactly.
AC/DC, look at all their innuendo.
Yep.
Especially with the Bon Scott era.
Huh?
Especially the Bon Scott era.
Yeah, a whole lot of Rosie. I love that.
The Jack.
Yeah, the Jack.
Although that's about getting an STD, isn't it? Well, I mean, towards the end of the song, she's got the Jack, and you hear Bon Scott in the background go, "It hurts." I mean, come on.
It burns me.
Dirty Deeds.
It burns very
Done dirty.
bad. Dirty deeds.
I mean, he even said in the song, "I'll be your backdoor man." Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that was all about killing people for you.
Oh no, it was about I'll get rid of your problems,
Right.
and especially the last one where he's talking about you got a girl that just won't leave you alone. I'm the man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Pussy's crying.
What the fuck?
You make the pussy cry.
I mean, AC/DC's full of them. Van Halen used to do it all the time. There was ZZ Top.
Then they got old, so they couldn't do it anymore.
No, now they just take a pill for it, Betty.
Yes.
Great White does it a lot.
Yeah. Great
Cherry
White does it
pie.
a lot.
I mean, one of the greatest staple anthems was Rock Me. And that's all about, hey,
It's all about hay.
let's get it on.
It's all about the hay. Hopping in the hay.
But then again, I kind of like where you can actually write a song where it could come across as a double meaning. Where, I mean, let me try to find the lyrics. I'll give you an example.
Well, shit, there's, as we've no doubt mentioned before, not that people don't know, but the term rock and roll means fucking. So, that's where of course, they were asking, I think they were asking Robert Plant about A Whole Lot of Love and a lot of people screwing or making babies to that song. And he said, I don't know, I thought the tempo was a little slow.
Well, it's like I was listening
Best
to
response
Great
ever.
White's cover of Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You.
Yeah.
I could tell you that baby was said 72 damn times in that song.
Oh, I know. And do you know, in an interview, that he actually said they were talking, they were basically, gooing all over him about his place in rock history and all. And he goes, oh, I don't know. I think I've said baby, baby, baby more than most people. He makes fun of himself all the time. He's one of those people that one of the reasons I like them is because they don't take themselves seriously. It's like, when you guys do the, go get the paddles stuff, I think it's funny. Some people would be offended, but I think it's funny. Because I can make fun of myself, and I like people who can.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, where people just take themselves way too seriously.
Yeah.
Way too seriously.
If you look at the lyrics for Pearl Necklace,
Mm-hmm.
it could be taken one of two ways.
Of course it can. And
That's
you know
what I
the
like
way
about
you
their
take
writing.
it. Huh?
That's what I like about their writing. It can be taken one of two ways. Because it's ambiguous.
Well, you know the way they mean it.
You know the way they mean it, but the way they write it, it could either be an authentic
like Tube
Pearl
Snake.
Necklace or
Like Tube Snake Boogie. If they had said Tube Steak Boogie, then you would have been, oh yeah, I know what that is.
yeah,
But they said Snake.
yeah.
And so then, and I'm sure that when they wrote it originally, it was Tube Steak Boogie.
What was the one? Was that the same song where he talks about doing it with his sister with the socks?
Ew.
Socks?
Oh, I'll find it.
She won't do it, but her sister will. When she boogie. Yeah, that's Tube-
okay, so
Tube
two,
Snake.
yeah.
I got a girl who lives on the hill. She won't do it, but her sister will.
Something about socks is in that.
Socks?
Yeah.
I don't
Hold
know.
on, I'm looking.
Yeah, just look up the
We'll
lyrics.
look faster.
I got a girl, she lives across town. She's the one that really gets down when she boogie. She do the Tube Snake Boogie. Well, now boogie, little baby, boogie, woogie all night long.
Oh, no, blow your top, blow your top.
I got a girl that she lives on the block. She's kind of funky with the pink and black socks.
Oh, okay.
Pink and black socks.
Yep. And Mr. Plant did a song called Pink and Black on the album that's always in the cutout. But I like it. And who else? Let's see. Well, I mean, that form of music lends itself to talking about sex anyway.
I was gonna say, I think a shorter list would be rock and roll songs that didn't
Aren't
talk
about sex.
That would be a very short list.
Exactly.
Or aren't about women, or, well,
Well, I mean, even if you look at your
Roxanne.
well, okay, you want to talk about
Not the
Roxanne?
red light.
Hey,
I mean,
what can I do?
Yeah.
There's quite a few songs about prostitutes. But then again, you look at your gay artists or your bisexual artists, they still refer to girls.
You mean greedy.
Greedy.
Yeah.
You look at Melissa Etheridge. Her songs are written to where there's no sex, gender involved, but you know she's talking about another girl.
Sure.
But is that lented? Lented?
We're not drinking tea.
I lent
But
it.
is part of that idea because she's open about her sexuality, or because of the way the video was shot.
We
for the
didn't
song.
know about her sexuality until after I think the second album was released.
I'm just saying the way that the video was shot.
Well, look at George Michael when he did. I mean, the father figure video, smoking hot video, and the I Want Your Sex video. He was gay when he did the video, and he said in an
Since he was
interview.
born from.
Well, yeah, but he said in an interview he felt very uncomfortable because he was around all these scantily clad women. But the song can go one of both ways.
Right.
Same thing with
both ways. But well,
so it
then
would be greedy.
is that part of the record company coming in and saying, well, from a marketing standpoint, homosexuality is considered taboo, or bisexuality is considered
Probably
taboo?
back then.
So
but not so much anymore.
heterosexuality is where the way we need to go in the direction of this video.
Well, I think the two things to take into consideration on that was the fact that it was probably the marketing at that time, because it's not so much taboo anymore.
Right.
But you can also blame Madonna at that time. I mean, she was nothing but talking about sex in every song she ever did, and even her choreography on her live shows. It was about sex. I mean, if anybody's a Madonna fan, they would know exactly what I'm talking about watching the Truth or Dare live concert DVD. It was like damn near X-rated. It was really. I mean,
Is that when she had the pointy bra?
that was one of the shows she did with Pointy Bra.
Okay.
I think the first time I saw the Pointy Bra was the
Oh,
photo.
it was
video.
5. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no. It was definitely in a video, but I remember she had it on tour as well.
And that's like my wife. She listens to the pop station around here. She's listening to the new Lady Gaga song. I can't remember what it's called, but it is a direct steal from Vogue. It is a direct steal.
I met with Dr. Weiss yesterday, and that was his thing. He was like, I tried to listen to it, and just to listen to it, whatever. And he was like, she stopped trying to be better than Madonna, and she just decided to be Madonna.
Yeah.
Who's
And
this?
it's just like,
Lady Gaga.
Oh.
She was supposed to be the new Madonna, the new generation Madonna.
and from my understanding, she was at one point trying to be better
Yeah.
than Madonna, trying to exceed, instead of now, apparently she's just,
And a lot of people don't know
Copy.
that the song that she does, I Was Born This Way, is a fucking cover. It's not her song. A lot of people don't know that.
Well, if
how
you
many
did
pop
know
stars
it-
actually write their own music?
None.
I mean, but if you did know it, and she's putting a different interpretation on it, and that's the point of her doing it, then, yay. I don't know, it's,
Fred, I can't see you getting down with the Gaga. I just can't.
no, yeah, I'm a little too old for that, I think.
I mean,
There's some stuff I'm not like, I've found that I can appreciate stuff that maybe 30, 20 years ago I wouldn't have. Like when you made me the 80s stuff, and that was one of the things I was listening to actually yesterday on the way up to work. And there were 2 or 3 that I kept playing over and over again. And, but there's some stuff, like the whole dance thing, I'm not Baptist, but I don't dance. Only in the closet, but anyway, I mean, I have a sense of rhythm, but...
I think there's a feather boa involved with
Yeah,
that.
exactly. And maybe a farm animal or two.
Are you listening to Lady in Red the whole time while you're doing this?
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
Dancing with you cheek to cheek and shit?
Yeah, really. And, but, there's some stuff like electronica I'm just not interested in, that kind of, because I've heard it and it drives me. And
I have to take it in doses.
I just know.
I mean, I love trance music, but there is some forms of trance where I just want to have a seizure and I can't take it.
What is trance music?
Rave stuff.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, see, that would fall under that same...
See, I only find
what's
rave...
the disc jockey, Bad Boy Bill, or somebody Bill?
Oh, speaking of which,
No
speaking
idea.
of DJs, I forgot to tell you, did you guys know that DJ Lethal is Russian?
Who?
DJ Lethal.
Who?
He was the record scratcher for Limp Bizkit and
That's what I thought.
who's the Irish band that did Hoodlums and Shenanigans
Oh, fuck.
with Everlast?
Get up, get up, get down.
House of Pain.
Yes, there we are.
Oh, they're Irish?
No.
No, but DJ Lethal's not even from this country.
Damn commie bastard! What the hell is
That
wrong
blew
with
me
you?
away. I read that the other night, and I was like, I thought he was from New York.
Damn commie bastards! Where are they
See,
coming
with
from?
rave stuff, I like the, depending on the rave stuff, I mean, I can actually sit there and be like, okay, I like the drum beat.
But the drum beat's manufactured.
True, but I also like the rave mixes of like White Zombie stuff.
Yeah, the whatever mix of
Super Sexy Swinging Sounds is a great mix album.
yeah, but I can. It depends on how it's done, but
Like I said, take it in doses.
yeah,
It's not something I could jam to. It's not something I'm
I'll
like,
put it this way: if I had,
I don't have any pills of ecstasy in my pocket at the same time.
if I had the two major companies that do satellite radio, if I had one of them, and there is a station I think that plays that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
there's several.
Yeah, I would go for about 5 seconds and go, oh, jeez, because it's just too, I don't know what, too intense, too much.
Well, like I said, I mean, I love trance. I also love some house music, but
Yeah,
there is a point where I can't take it. If it sounds like it can be a Dance Dance Revolution, I can't listen to it. I'm gonna have a seizure. I mean, I've tried to listen to it. It's too fast. I can't
Yeah.
handle it. I
House
go
music.
into next week, and I'm
and
like, oh.
you're the age you are, so you imagine somebody 30 years older than you,
Yeah.
you know, is not
House-
going to like it either.
House, rave, electronica, it serves the purpose of getting people on the dance floor. That's it. After you dance a little bit, it's just background noise. There's really no... I mean, that's one of the reasons why I kind of thought it was funny when Eminem had poked fun at Moby. We're talking about nobody listens to techno anymore.
Oh, do you know what's hilarious is the R&B and hip hop songs like nowadays.
Yeah.
It's all a ripoff from techno.
Yeah.
So oh my god, I was thinking that the other day. How
Well,
hilarious it is. He's like, nobody listens to techno. Oh, look at that. How many years has it been? Oh,
Well, it's like
snap, son.
Fred and I and a couple other people have talked
Now
about,
everybody's doing it.
talk about how particular types of genres of music
Mhm.
are 30 years behind the times. For example, rock and roll was talking about up all night, fucking the bitches, and hanging out on the balcony and on the beach. They did that in the 70s in rock and roll. And then when certain genres came out in popularity in the 80s and early into the mid-90s, we're singing about the exact same thing rock and roll was doing back in the 70s.
Or
So
the
it's not-
50s.
Or early mid-50s. But not so much the vulgarity, but the explosiveness is what makes it sells.
Mhm.
For example, what was it? What's that dumbass rap band that talks about all I want to do is a boom, 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 and a boom, boom?
I don't know, but it sounds like fun.
Where they're sitting there on the beach, they're talking about all they want to do is fuck and ride around in a car.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm going, how fucking original is that? The only thing that's making this record sell is because of the beat. There's no artisticness up to it. There's no poeticness in the lyrics. There's nothing complicated about it.
Well,
And the
there's-
fucking beat is sampled.
There's not a lot of poetic stuff in some of what Little Richard did in the 50s, but it sold a lot of copies, and he's a very wealthy man. And, or...
I like that pause.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt he's male, so,
And there's no doubt about other things as well.
Well, but the thing is, there's,
I wonder why they
okay,
call him Little Richard.
but there's a good example for you of somebody in the same situation as Freddie decades later, and if Little Richard had a band, you weren't paying attention to the band.
Yeah.
You were looking at Little Richard, and
Well, it's the
I
same thing
liked
with
I liked Queen. I liked all the guys in Queen, but the one that I would have paid to go there to see would have been Freddie. So, and those are two flamboyantly gay people, because Little Richard, whether he admits it or not, I mean, please come on,
That's why I always thought it was funny when Keenan Ivory Wayans would poke fun at Little Richard on their Living Color.
Yeah.
Talking about James Brown stole my hair.
Yeah.
Clothes, and I got
You know
no
what
credit
Little
for it.
Richard
It was
was saying?
hysterical the way he did it, where he's talking about he got no respect for the credit for.
You know what Little Richard, because Little Richard would always say things like, the Beatles is me, so-and-so is me, da-da-da-da is me. He'd go down this list of different people and say that if it weren't for him, that person wouldn't be as famous as they are because they're stealing his act, is what he was saying.
Right.
That was kind of interesting because he's pretty out,
Very
pretty
outspoken.
Blunt, yeah, pretty blunt about it.
But I kind of look at him going, you're a prima donna.
Oh yes.
Before the term actually was applied to celebrities.
Oh yeah.
Um,
yeah, and very, very much
What?
a self-promoter. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand.
It's completely not in any way related to Little Richard, but I have 2 points to make.
Yeah.
First of all, you were talking about techno music just to get people on the dance floor. Who takes it that seriously? I mean, like, who takes it seriously?
Surprised.
Really? Because I just think it's fun. I like to listen to it. I think it's awesome.
Moby did it for a decade.
And he's got some great stuff.
I like his non-techno stuff a lot better.
I mean, I like listening to it. I mean, I don't need it to dance, but I also, I'll play it while I'm working. I'll play it while I'm creating artistically. I mean, like, it's just, I just like it just as much as I love the hardcore, heavy metal. I mean, my fucking playlist will go from a techno song to a heavy metal song, and I won't even miss a beat. I'll just be like, ah. But the other point I wanted to make was we were talking about pop music. And I've complained a lot about record companies having too much say in the artistic work of artists. And what I can't stand about pop music is there is no artist at all. There is no art to be made. They're literally just doing what the record company tells them to do. And that's why I can't stand it, is because it's not somebody's art. It's not somebody who wants to create. It's just somebody who wants to be told what to do, what to say, what to wear, and then they go do it, and then they get money. It's a record company's Frankenstein's monster, basically.
You look at all the winners and runner-ups for American Idol, and their prize is if they get a record contract to create an album that's owned by Simon. And you don't get to play the music you want to play. You play the music Simon tells you to play.
Simon says.
And you're under that contract for a while. Simon owns you. There is no talk about your artistic awareness and how you'd like to go. None of that shit. So basically what they did is it's a great way to find a voice to fill the next niche. And a lot of people who go in there thinking they have these grand dreams of being the super pop star. Yeah, you are, with a chain around your neck that's being pulled by Simon.
Well, it's no different than having a chain around your neck pulled by the lawyers and the promoters in the record industry in general.
That's true.
Because that's all you are is, meat for them. I mean, it's like they, and I'm shocked that with all of the things that are available to anyone who wants to use them, that more people don't put up a website and say, this is my stuff, pay me what you think I'm worth or whatever, and it's bound to be more, at least initially, than they're ever going to get from the record company, and the record company is going to sandbag them and say, oh, that limo ride to the airport and the plane, yeah, you had to pay for that, so that comes out of your profits, you're broke.
Well, that's why I liked, one of the things that I have a lot of respect for Limp Bizkit is that after their first 2 albums, they didn't want to do that anymore, so Fred created his own record label. He took the money from the profit, created his own record label so they could record the next 3 or 4 releases that they had their own way.
That I will respect
that
for.
Is that their latest release, Gold Cobra, Fred leaked on purpose. He said he couldn't wait. So he gave it out. Said, I just didn't want to wait anymore.
But is creating a new record label really going to solve any of the problems?
That's what Trent Reznor did.
I'm just asking.
But,
I mean, if
yeah.
you create a record label because you hate what current record labels do, so you create one, or do they go around and do that to other artists? What they hated being done to them? I mean, how?
Well,
when does it end?
A lot of what, like with Interscope Records, TVT Records, Blade Runner, Metal Blade, a lot of those record labels did is that, hey, we'll let you come in and you'll do what you want. And if you want to stay, then we'll work on some kind of mutual arrangement between your band and the management. If you don't like it, we'll work something out to where you can still get your royalties, you'll still get your due, and you can go somewhere else.
Okay.
So it's not like with CBS Records where you had a 10-year contract.
Right.
Because we all talk about how live albums is just a contractual release.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so prone to want to listen to bootlegs, because, hey, it's great to have a live album from a band you absolutely adore, but it's still a polished release.
Exactly.
All the mistakes are removed.
However,
It's
now
all polished.
with drum triggers and pitch devices for vocalists, you're getting studio crap live.
Yeah.
And so that's why, unless it's a band I'm very familiar with how they sounded 20 years ago or 30, I'm not going. Now, I mean, in the case of, say, Iron Maiden, since we were talking about them earlier, I'd go see them because they have a body of work and you know what they sound like, and you have live albums that you can listen to.
Oh, yeah. That's
and
like
bootlegs.
Maiden, for me, Maiden, Killing Joke,
Love me some Killing Joke. Just gotta put that in there.
Alice in Chains,
That's what I'm
Rush.
getting me into next.
Rush. You know, with their longevity, you know what you're going to go see when you go to a show.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know there's 35 plus years worth of music.
Thank you.
You know you're going to have a good time while you're there.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Van Halen, on a For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour 6 times. And on the 3rd time, Sammy came out. I knew there was something going on. It was an indoor arena. It was in Charlotte. And Sammy had come out to do his solo work, which was just one of the songs from the solo album. He did it acoustically. And he said, I just want to apologize for everybody. I've been suffering a cold for the last 2 weeks, so I know my voice isn't up to par. But he still kept going, which I thought was phenomenal. I was like, well, damn.
That's a professional.
Yeah, that's a professional. So we talked about this where Sammy Hagar is out there for fun. You know, I'm here to play, I'm here to jam, I'm here to have a good time, I'm going to drink. Oh, look, big titty women coming out, bringing my tequila out to me, let's party.
Yes.
He's the Jimmy Buffett of hard rock.
Yep. Yep.
He is, man. I saw the Sammy Hagar David Lee Roth show, and Michael Anthony was a guest performer. We didn't know about it. And he comes on stage, like, oh, holy shit, it's Michael Anthony. So, you know, it was great. And scantily clad chicks, big-breasted boobs, I mean, barely covering the nipples and shit.
Yeah!
Bringing out waitress trays full of tequila in those triangle glasses. I don't know what they're called. Long stem classical martini glasses. And Martini glasses. So he was out there ready to have fun, and it was like 98 degrees outside. It was in the middle of June. It was blistering hot, and everybody was having fun. You're never going to walk away disappointed from a Sammy Hagar performance.
I doubt you would.
And I've seen Sammy as a solo artist and as a member of Van Halen, and he's a great frontman.
There's
although he does like his weed. I got a recording of Right Here, Right Now, which was the live album for For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, where he's about to do a solo thing, and he goes, "Smells good in here. I'm thinking about, inviting all you 25,000 fans to my house, get a big log of weed, throw it on the fireplace." I was like, damn, dude, you ain't shy about that crap at all. I'd love to go to his birthday bashes in October down in Cabo. He does one every year.
Yep.
If I had the money, I'd go down to Cabo San Lucas during his birthday bash. Hell yeah, because he's always got a guest performer playing with him that night. That would be really wicked to see.
Indeed.
I can tell. So, yes.
Oh, let's see, what else? There was something else.
Breasts?
Hooters.
Hooters.
We're going to have to take a break.
Take a break, we'll be back.
Pew, 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 pew.
To the Fun Fest,
So where were we?
Well, while we were breaking, we were talking about Sammy and a party animal and a good host and a
He's
performer
great.
and a showman and all of that.
People give him shit about being, part of Van Halen, and they call it Van Hagar, whatever.
Right.
We have a mutual friend that said it was Sammy Hagar and Van Halen was the backup band. That's how he looked at it. And I got some information about Van Halen that a lot of people don't understand. I told you this the other day. 1984 was number 2 that year for one reason and one reason only.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen did the guitar work for Michael Jackson's Thriller for free, and that album became #1, followed by 1984, which was #2. It took Sammy Hagar to have a #1 album. That was 5150.
Mm-hmm.
It was what, in my personal opinion, not so much the sound per se, but the way the music that they sung was where Van Halen should have been going. It was great that they talked about, hey, we're going to have a party. Hey,
You know that song that they do that became part of an Air Force video and that it's been played for people on the space shuttle or the space station before? Higher... Okay. That one. What's the name of that one? Yeah, what's the name of that one? Whatever it is. That one I like.
I know what you're talking about.
And there's some... I don't like I Can't Drive 55 because I've heard it 8 zillion times and I'm sick of it. But
that would be the Blue Angels.
But there's no... Yeah. But there's no debating the fact that Sammy is a terrific performer.
Song's called Dreams.
That's it. He's a terrific performer. He knows what he's doing. He's a good businessman. He's a good promoter of himself.
Oh yeah, plus Chickenfoot's a great supergroup.
Yeah, now I want a little more of those guys because I want to hear them and them dirty bastards or vultures or stinking vultures or whatever. It's got John Paul Jones as a bass player and they have Dave Grohl in the band.
Those dirty buzzards.
Dirty
vultures.
Dirty buzzard vultures or them something. Yeah. Them crooked bastards. I don't know. But
them crooked vultures.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll get to it sometime.
Yeah. It's all the alcohol in the 80s. Oh, you were little then, so you didn't have any.
I was 5 in 1980.
Oh. I was in 1980. I was 24. Yeah.
You also look at the fact that
we're ignoring what you just said, Brad.
Yeah.
You also look at the fact that I touched on this earlier, that there was that David Lee Roth versus Van Halen thing going on for the longest time. For example, the second Sammy Hagar Van Halen album was OU812. That album was named in response to David Lee Roth's Eat 'Em and Smile. So there was always that back and forth, back and forth. One of the greatest songs that I thought was off of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge was In and Out. The song is about it costs more leaving this life of existence than coming in.
Well,
but a lot of people were like, no, it's sexual. Did you even listen to the fucking lyrics?
It doesn't cost the person who's entering the life anything. It costs them 0.
Right.
So, yeah, and then when you leave, it actually doesn't cost you anything. It costs your family a lot.
But the opening line is, been in debt from conception. Pay for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's the opening line.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with sex. But because it was on For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, which, by the way, thank you, Kurt Loder, for asking everybody on MTV News to try to figure out a way to shorten the name of the album. Not a lot of people realized it stood for fuck. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
Right.
And they got it past the censors. I mean, it was out for like almost a year before people were like, oh shit. You know, they dropped the ball. So it was another way for them to get past it. But when we're talking about Blaze Bayley having not the motivation or the heart to continue doing on with Iron Maiden, you could tell by when you get to Van Halen's Balance, they weren't about it anymore. There was not one redeeming song off that whole album. I have it because I have a Japanese import. Because
what's on there?
Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do.
And who was the singer then?
Sammy Hagar. It was his last recording with the band.
And then they got Gary. Speaking of, Gary was basically their Blaze Bayley.
I don't know. I mean,
in other words, Gary had to follow something.
Yeah, he had to follow 2 big.
Yeah, and that's even harder.
Yeah.
So how are you going to do that? And there was that was a train wreck right from the start. And he might be a very good musician and a singer and all that. He just wasn't a good fit for those guys. Why they picked him, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he said that he landed the dream job where, hey, I get to play from Van Halen.
Yep. Well, he did, but could he handle it? No.
I don't think it was that he couldn't handle it. I just don't think that I think that's where the critics and the fans came into play of,
Well,
hey,
right.
this isn't Van Halen.
Right. But see, that's the thing. You know, he had to be able to put it across in his own way, which David Lee Roth can do and Sammy Hagar can do. Sammy Hagar might as well be a brand because wherever he goes, he's Sammy Hagar. In other words, he sounds that way. So you put him in whatever environment you want to, and he's going to sound like that. And that's how he made Van Halen sound.
Yeah.
Really. And so whoever said that they were his backup band is kind of telling you the truth.
Yeah.
And because he also knew how to play.
Yeah.
And could play a mean riff himself.
Right. I mean, I've got an interview where he said that when they asked him, he said, so, you know, when you left Montrose, Van Halen was coming into the scene with their first album, and a lot of people had heard Eruption, which at that time was a massively staple guitar intro for any song. I mean, a lot of people heard that and were like, what the fuck is that? And he said, yeah, that was pretty much my reaction too. Who is this bastard?
When I first heard Van Halen guitar, I just kind of went, now that guy is somebody I want to listen to. It's unfortunate that he's such a pompous little prick.
Yeah.
Because he would have gotten a lot farther if he wasn't.
Van Halen used to be one of my all-time favorite bands.
They
Not
were,
so much anymore.
They were never my all-time favorite, but they definitely had a place. I mean, and the ones I liked were David Lee stuff, but to be perfectly fair in describing the reason for that is I didn't like when Sammy came on board. I was like, nah, you can't replace the singer, and I don't really find a whole lot that I like about Sammy, even though he's good and all the other things I said. It just, I don't know, I'm done. But there are songs from that era that I do like the one I was telling you, and so it was.
You'd be interested to know some of my favorite songs are off that album as
Oh,
well.
Pound Cake, I love.
Pound Cake is great. That's off of Fall Off of Carnal Knowledge.
Yep.
But I love Best of Both Worlds, which was off 5150, which also was the album that had Dreams on it. Summer Nights was a great song. I love Get Enough.
Which one is? There's a song, something about get me started. Don't get me started, or oh shoot. I'm sure there's a brain fart going on, and I can't remember the name of the song. But
Is it a
I just
Sammy
love
Hagar
walking
song?
into Fred Zeppelin just being like, can't remember it, and then you just have this look on your face like, again.
and he goes,
Really?
I'm incomplete. Da, 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 da. Damn it.
Are we talking Sammy Hagar?
Yeah. And the guitar riffs like that.
All right.
Oh, finish what you started.
Finish What You Started. That was off
Yeah.
0812.
Yep, I like that.
One of my favorite songs off that album was Feel So Good.
Did it touch your special place?
It's not about sex.
I didn't ask if it was about sex. I asked if that song touched you in your
And that's a
special
trick
place.
question.
Giselle Noir has a bingo.
B-I-N-G-O.
I also like
B-I-N-G-O.
I also off that album. I also like When It's Love, Sucker in a Three Piece.
Yeah, When It's Love.
Black and Blue, which is just about fucking until you're sore. Source of Affection has a great guitar intro, very similar to Eruption and that type of vein.
He's having an eruption right now. There he goes.
I've been trying to find the Van Halen OU812 album cover as a poster. I'm going to sound very nerdy here. My brother and my mother used to watch, what was the name of that television show with the Down syndrome kid named Corky? Something Life.
Put it, you can Google that, put Down syndrome Corky, and it'll pop up. It will. I'll guarantee
You're
you.
putting in Down syndrome Corky.
That's right. Put it
You
in.
might want to do TV Down syndrome Corky.
Put it in.
Chris Burke played Corky.
All right. What was the?
Life Goes On.
That's it.
The daughter, the middle-aged daughter, had that as a poster in her room, and ever since I saw that scene, I was like, I want the poster.
But you can't find it?
I can't find it, so I'm thinking it was specifically made for the show as a
Bastards.
prop.
Perhaps.
Those comic bastards.
One of my favorite David Lee Roth era songs was "Women and Children First,"
Yeah.
because I just like that line, "Sail away with someone's daughter." I just like that line.
Well, you know, when they were brand spanking new on the scene, and you know, Eddie's guitar was what sold them, in my opinion. And then David Lee did that oddball little thing way too fucking often. I mean, that's nice. That
It's not like a cock.
yeah.
Hello! Caw! Caw!
Caw!
Bang!
Oh.
But you'll also find it interesting that on OU812, the 10th track on the CD release, not the tape release, I don't think it was on the record, was A Political Blues, which was a Lowell George cover.
Yeah, Little Feat. I put that on my Hootie What's It the other day.
Who's the guy that likes to wear spandex and do splits?
David Lee.
Roth.
Okay.
Or Dr. Roxo, depending on who you are. 'Cause I tell you
Yeah,
what,
and that
on Metalocalypse, whoever came up with that character was thinking David Lee Roth.
I know,
In
isn't that
the,
fabulous?
in the
Love
video
it.
for Jump, was it when he jumps over
That's
the
the
camera?
video.
That's the one that got all the girls swooning like,
Oh yeah.
look at the cocky
Totally
balls.
swooning over.
Surprised you never wore
Balls.
cod piece.
I don't know. You tell me, but you know, I know I don't, but
I
don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know. There were probably other girls that did, but
Oh, yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that in 3D? That'd be awful.
Yes. Indeed.
Sucker in a Three-Piece was a song written by Sammy Hagar about a moment when visiting Cabo San Lucas, he saw an attractive 23-year-old woman poolside with a 60-year-old rich man, possibly in a suit.
Well, you know, in that situation, she's obviously waiting for him to need the paddles and not have them around, so she can get all his money, and that's what that's about. It's obviously not about, you know, any of the things it should be about.
Feel So Good was a song that was out of the ordinary for Van Halen. Sammy and Eddie liked the song, but Alex and Mike did not, as they felt it was too pop. As of 2011, the song has never been played live on tour. I don't understand that. It was a decent song. Yeah, it was a little popish, but that's
Well, so was Jump.
so was Jump. But what I liked about Van Halen on both eras was that they weren't afraid to expand on their types of genre. There's a lot of acoustic songs that they'll never get played on the radio.
Oh, I like Ice Cream Man. I don't know if that's a David Lee Roth song.
That's the first album.
Okay.
Very
I
first album.
love
I love
that
their
song.
cover of "You're No Good"
Yeah.
from Van Halen too.
Well, I like their cover of the Kings tune, and you know, they made that song their own, just like they would probably do with anything else.
Oh yeah, but you had that guy at your house at one time when he was talking about Van Halen and talking about the first demo, and I was like, oh yeah, it was done by Gene Simmons, where he had the top hat on the spider. They wanted to name the band Daddy Longlegs
And
and
he's
shit.
looking at
And you
you
looked
like-
at me like, how the hell do you know that shit? I'm like, this used to be my favorite band.
Yeah.
Are they going to be one of our spotlight bands?
I was gonna actually see if you would do that. I think you should.
It's going to be low on my priority. I have better and bigger bands to discuss.
No, that's fine. I just was curious. And you mentioned
No,
it
I
was
think
one
you
of your
should.
favorite bands. I didn't know.
I might. I probably.
We were talking about what I wanted to do, and you were saying do it over a period of time.
Yeah.
Focus on each person over a period of time, or focus on that band over a period of time.
I could probably do. If it was me, I'd do two separate shows. One on Sammy Hagar, one on Van Halen.
So if it were me doing that, I would do.
See, I told you should do separate shows.
Of
You
like
should do Led Zeppelin as one, then do
the individuals
band
as all
members.
their other stuff.
Yeah, that way you have literally years of material to discuss.
Oh, I probably.
God, that would be like a month-long spotlight segment.
Yeah. Well, no, I
Well,
would.
he was talking
break
about
it
doing
up.
like Led Zeppelin with one show, then whoever's next to one.
Oh,
then
okay,
he'd
so
come
shows
back.
in between.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
See, I thought it was just like
Oh,
it was
God.
one big show, and I was
No,
like,
no.
oh dear
No,
God, we're going into
if Frank
next
was going to do
week.
that, we'd have to go get the little high school desks and everything.
Yeah.
I know,
He'd
right?
have
The
to wear the professor
chalkboard.
stuff. Oh,
Yeah,
did, you
and I'd
hear
have
about
the-
did you hear about the judge in Philly who had his robe stolen out of chambers?
No.
I thought that was hysterical, thinking, they're not going to have a sense of humor about it because post 9/11, because people could, they're not going to card you if you're wearing a judge's robe when you walk into a court. So
Really?
on that part, I can understand the seriousness of it, but at the other end, I'm like, let's kind of make the child in me kind of giggles, talking like, I stole a robe. And I'd be officiating in my garage.
Yeah, it's not like you can wear it. It's not like the person that stole it can wear it.
Yeah, he can.
Where?
He can wear it, walk into a court. That's what they're worried about.
Yeah, but
And then drop a bomb or try to drop some kind of, or steal something. So yeah, I see the seriousness of that particular theft, but at the same time, I also see the sophomoric side of it. Like, I stole somebody's robe.
Well, these days, anything,
Probably wore to a toga party
these days, there's any excuse
or a
used
wizard party.
to put the screw further, to tighten the screw further. So and you can't make a joke. Bullshit. If George Carlin were still around, he'd be making a shit pot full of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes humor can be used to go, this is fucking bullshit. And that is what you can use humor for. And we should. But anyway.
I have a random ADD rant that I almost just threw out there in the middle.
Random ADD rant?
Yes. I almost threw it out there when you were in the middle of talking about your Van Halen and Sammy Hagar, and because I got bored and because I've had that much tea. No, Carnival, 2 seasons. What the fuck?
I told you it wasn't going to
What
end.
the fuck?
I told you it just ended.
I am mad.
You didn't listen to me.
No, I did. I listened to
No, you heard.
and my mother
Hearing
and
and listening are
Melissa.
2 different things.
I probably wasn't as upset by the ending of the 2nd season because I've heard so much feedback of you gonna be mad
Mm-hmm.
because they stopped making it.
Mm-hmm.
And from my understanding was they were apparently they were signed on for a 3rd season, and then they just were like, oh yeah, no, we're pulling the plug.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck,
That's what happened with
You.
4400. I was so
It
into
was-
4400.
amazing. I mean, the writing, the costumes, the actors, the photography. I mean, it was an amazing show, and then you're just gonna cut it. I mean, you're watching it, you're going, it's too good to be on TV, even though it is technically HBO. I mean, it was that good. You knew that they wouldn't keep it on.
Well, it's
You
like
just
my wife and I are into Falling Skies.
Mhm.
We've only seen 3 episodes. 4th one comes on tonight. They've already signed on for another season because it's Steven Spielberg's. But I'm worried. AMC did The Walking Dead, and the first season was 6 episodes because it was very high
Right.
budget, very well done.
Mm-hmm.
And they were worried that it wasn't going to be popular. So let's try it out with 6 episodes, which is technically a mini season. It's a mini series.
Yeah.
They signed on. First episode comes out at the beginning of this fall. I cannot fucking wait
Yeah.
because it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
But I was also thinking with The Walking Dead, Falling Skies. My wife and I are into Suits, which is that new lawyer TV series on USA. We're wondering how it's going to last longer than 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Because we're like, it's not Law and Order. Where Law and Order not only has sub shows, that Law and Order's been around 12 years.
Yeah.
And it's still very popular. We'd like to see shows that do that.
Mm-hmm.
We love recurring characters. It's like we love Burn Notice.
Oh my God, I love her.
And they've already signed on for 6 seasons. But when you watch the first 2 episodes of season 5, which just came out last month, we were wondering where it was going
Right.
because of the way the 4th season ended.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, new twist, new plot. Okay, that's cool.
What a twist.
And then we're watching it going,
We're twisting.
where's this going? Because season 5 is completely different from the first 4 seasons in story and where he's going. I didn't want to ruin it for everybody.
I haven't seen season 5 yet, so I appreciate that.
So I'm just going, where is this going to go? Where's it going to go? But they've already been given the green light for season 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, sweet. So we still get to see Michael Weston
Right.
and Sam Max.
But I mean, what we've seen with Carnival is they can pull it at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, they were signed off for and I truly believe that they ended season 2 the way that they ended it. Because if you look at the way they ended season 1, they ended it with that big. I was watching it in season 1, and I didn't have the disc for season 2 yet, and I was just like, "You better not end it that way." And they fucking did. I was so mad. I was like, "No!"
Well, it's like I said.
I believe that they would have given it a proper ending if they knew they weren't going to have a 3rd season, but they were under the impression they were going to have a 3rd season, and then they just decided to be dicks and pull the fucking show.
We felt the same way about 4400.
We
felt the same way about Firefly.
I mean, you know, there's plenty of examples. It's so frustrating because, yeah, a lot of people just see it as commercial, mindless. It still is a form of visual art.
Yeah.
And to just pull it like that, I mean, that's a disservice to the writers, the directors, the actors. And what I loved about Carnival was they had a great group of actors. They had actors that were not, they were like Clancy Brown. You know the man from the fucking Highlander films. I mean, he's the voice of Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, voice of Lex Luthor in the Superman cartoon. I mean, like, he's a well-known actor, but he's not, like, quote-unquote A-list. Same thing with Adrian, I can't remember her last name, but she is from the John Carpenter films. I believe she's his ex-wife.
Adrian Barbeau.
Oh my god, amazing actress. But, I mean, like, they have those... What? What?
It's
Barbeau.
Adrian Barbeau's famous. It's alluded because of her boobs.
I mean, she does have a nice rack. I'm
Yeah,
not
she
gonna lie.
does.
I've been watching all the
She especially had a
John
nice rack
Carpenter
in
films.
Cannonball Run.
I haven't hit Cannonball Run yet, but I've seen Swamp Thing. What is Open House? Escape from New York. I've been since at Carnival ended. What I did was, and I went into Netflix.
That's right.
Looked at all the
She
different.
played Maggie in Escape from New York.
Ah,
Hell yeah. But it was just a
was-
great group of up and coming
She says
actors.
it's a great group.
Yes.
As far as
Go fuck yourself.
as far as gorgeous women in movies are concerned, the second
I hate you
the
so
first
much.
the original first Planet of the Apes movie. There's a woman that plays. I guess
Does she have breasts?
Well, yeah, but I was just looking at her face, looking at those.
Talk about
eyes.
the one
Oh
that
my
couldn't
God.
talk.
Huh?
You want to talk about the one that couldn't talk?
Yes.
That finally said Taylor's name at the
Yes.
end of the second film?
Yeah.
Okay, I know you're talking about that.
Yeah, she. Linda Hamilton? No, who
No,
is
that
she?
wasn't Linda Hamilton. That was before Linda Hamilton was born.
No, but I can't remember. I think I can't remember. Linda something. Anyway, she was just beautiful. And the one that played Gene Hackman's wife in Marooned was absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And didn't have huge tacks on, but I mean that face. Oh my God. That she's
Yes.
face. Huh?
But yeah, no,
Your
HBO are a
race,
bunch
your
of fucking
face.
chavs
Huh?
for canceling Carnival after promising them a 3rd season. Bunch of fucking chavs.
Yeah, Chad
If
Louis.
it was current, I would be like, no, we're having them as Trav of the Week. But this happened years ago.
How about
But
retro
I'm
chat?
still mad.
Retro chat.
So mad.
Retro chat.
So mad at HBO. Fuck you, HBO.
Fuck you, HBO. You are the retro chat.
And on season 2, they had an interview that was done with most of the cast and the HBO producer lady between seasons 1 and 2, and you could see it on her face. She didn't care for it anymore.
On her
She was
face.
saying,
Linda Harrison.
That's
She
it.
played Nova.
Yes, Nova. Yeah, she was beautiful.
so yeah, that was my rant about Carnival.
Good. Thank you. I love rants. Rants are so fun. And you need to bring your friend to rant. I think we should have rant. I think we should have
Population?
Dr. Vice rant.
like Rantosaurus. We should, we should have a show that has nothing but rants in it.
I don't think we can handle that.
That'd be awesome.
It requires beer.
There you go.
Ooh, but that'd be fun. I'm
Or
getting
wine.
sauced.
Huh?
I'm getting sauced.
Sauced.
I'm gonna get so fucking sauced. It's not even funny.
You know what that sounded like?
Your mom.
Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your mom. Sounded like Cyndi Lauper. Oh, I saw her on
Girls
TV.
just
I
wanna
saw
have
her the other day.
She's a sport, though.
She's awesome.
She's adorable.
She was singing a song. I think it was the national anthem.
She's straight up
And a
adorable.
bird shit in her mouth while her mouth was open.
Oh
while
my
she was
God.
singing, and she kept going to the end of the song.
Wow.
There's a video of it
Oh
where
my God.
bomb right in her mouth.
Oh.
Yeah. They even slowed it down a little bit so you can actually see.
She
No.
was on
Bless
Chelsea
her
lately.
heart.
She was on Chelsea lately the other day. She has an album out where she redoes some of her stuff and some others.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. I mean,
I liked her cover of Iko Iko.
I tell you one thing. She is a pretty lady. I mean, there were from 2005, I think it was, pictures of her with blonde, really short hair, just beautiful. I mean, I was looking at this woman.
Well,
going,
it's like
"Holy
we
shit."
were talking about a couple people I was talking to at work that I actually prefer Joan Jett with the long hair as opposed to the short hair.
Yeah,
But Joan Jett looked like she would hurt you.
with the short hair.
I'm
She
talking
looked like
about.
she
I'm
twisted
talking
your
about if you were lucky enough to get in bed with this woman, she'd hurt you.
hat.
You'd be limping away.
Yep.
With a smile on her face.
And she's like what, 5'3", 5'4"?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
She's
That
not
woman
that
would kick
tall.
your ass.
Small but fierce, bitch.
I mean, did you?
Tiny.
You should put in Crimson and Clover, Joan Jett, Crimson and Clover, and there's one video in there of her with the short hair,
Yeah.
and it's and I've posted it before, but you see those arms, and I'm like, holy
yeah,
shit,
she did,
could kick my ass.
She was wearing a bikini underneath a trench coat in the video. Do you want to touch me there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she went up like this. I'm like,
Woo!
that's hot.
She was in
How
the
old were you when you
Runaways.
saw
She was in the Runaways. Do you know who's portraying her in the Runaways film?
No.
The chick that was in Twilight.
No.
Dakota Fanning is portraying Lita Ford.
Oh, Lita Ford was in the Runaways.
Yes, yeah. And they were the only two that actually went anywhere outside the Runaways. But Quiet Riot had covered a couple of Runaway songs. Mama, We're All Crazy Now, that's a Runaway song.
If it is, Slade covered it as well.
Slade
because-
covered it after the
Are
Runaways.
you sure?
I'm almost positive.
I know.
Bringing it back.
We're having a moment.
Runaways, not the Runarats.
What
Oh,
is the
damn you, autocorrect!
What is the German band you found earlier? Pussy Bats?
Yeah, pussy bat.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I
I
got
can't
a
wait
pussy
to
bat.
listen to it.
I'm gonna bat that pussy and put it in the box.
I gotta look that up.
Are we about concluding?
Getting close. Hold on. Cherry Bomb was originally a Runaway song, but Joan Jett had made it famous in her solo work.
Cherry bomb. I
that
remember
is a
playing that in
great-
broadcasting
that is a
school in the
great
70s.
song.
It was like 76, 77. I remember that's when when I saw that album cover, I was like, whoa, Jailbait.
Betty, you're so funny.
Yeah. And back then I was
Funny
as pure as the
looking.
driven. Yeah. Exactly. Back then I was as pure as the driven snow.
Okay,
but I was
they-
still
You're
just
okay,
liar.
I take that back. Slade covered it first.
No, I'm not.
Ooh.
Slade did it first.
That's what I thought.
But
I got it once.
was it? Hold on. Come On, Feel the Noise was a cover as well.
That's also Slade. But
They also Runaways also did 8 Days a Week. They covered the John Lennon song.
The Beatles tune.
I also
The
wanted to
Ruffles.
stand corrected that one of my favorite Creedence songs,
Which one?
The Midnight Special,
Is it cover?
is a cover.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
knew that one. I don't remember who did the original, but I remember it's covered.
Try it. Hold on.
I know Wolfman Jack used that song. Or somehow or other. It's Midnight Special, baby. You ever heard of Wolfman Jack? If you Google him, you'll see. He was a very famous disc jockey in the, I guess, 50s, 60s. And he, and even into the 70s, he was very
Lead Belly.
Ah,
Lead Belly did Midnight Special.
he was but he had a very unique voice, and it was like that, you know. And oh my gracious me, that kind of thing. And yep.
But yeah, so we need to come up with some rants. I have a whole.
I'm
book.
telling you, Dr. Weiss has some rants for us children.
Well, I think we should invite the good doctor.
Although there might be a dueling rant because Dr. Weiss is the rant about Nine Inch Nails and Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it will counter some ideas of Analog Kid.
No,
Hell no.
I personally think that Nine Inch Nails, I give them credit for the fact that they started the industrial revolution, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
However, I also believe that Trent Reznor is responsible for commercializing it.
And that's pretty much Dr. Weiss's rant is
And
Trent Reznor and Marilyn Manson just.
because
Blah.
I was
Ruined
telling
it,
Fred that when Ministry first came out, they were very Depeche Mode-ish when they first came out. When Al Jorgensen came to the band, he brought the industrial element to it, and then you got Just One Fix, just the hot rod. So it's kind of like Pantera. If you heard the original Pantera, it's nothing like Cowboys from Hell.
Yeah, it's glam.
It's glam rock.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Metal Magic was one of their first albums. Oh yeah, very glam. It used to be Diamond Daryl instead of Dimebag Daryl.
Go to YouTube and put
Wow.
in Rebel Meets Rebel.
Oh yeah, with David Allen Cole.
Yep.
Yeah, our mutual friend asked me for a copy of that if I ever found it.
Well, let's look at it this way. Since Nameless will not be joining us again next week, let me know when we're gonna record, and I'll let Dr. Weiss know and see if he can come on out.
Cool.
Then we could give Nameless a hard time for being jobless. NJ! Nameless jobless.
Name with MJ.
Call him NJ. Oh, I'm waiting for the time he's really going to bust my balls if I'm ever absent from a show.
Oh, yeah. And you know what's going to happen?
The only thing that's saving me from being absent from the show is right now my computer is the only one that can record.
And
So you best believe when you get the other one up and running, I might be like...
the day that happens, Giselle will be over at your place, and us three, minus him, will be just sitting there going, yeah, where the hell is he?
No. You're going to see me crawling up. I'm going to have pneumonia and everything. Why are you here? You can't say I didn't make it.
And now we need don't touch.
And then he collapses. He'll be fine, you know.
Ugh.
Give him Fred
the
Zeppelin's
paddles.
can of air, you know. he'll be
Yeah,
fine.
take the paddles away from Fred Zeppelin and give him to the Analog Kid. He's going to need them.
But, yeah, I mean, I figured same, we could do it. Is your place going to be ready by then? Next weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a day! Thanks for listening to Three Fingers Rather Shallow.
That's no fun.
No, they were rather deep on occasion.
She squealed.
Thanks then, goodbye.